Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, October the 25th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Trading with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and Walmal's. Hey, Walmal, one of the traders out there wanted you to expand on getting out too soon. And what did you just tell me right before we made this video? If you had done what?
Exactly. Well, I guess I'm going to start this off with why and where I get out of my trades. And I think that'll explain what I mean by closing. Actually, I think what I said the last video was closing too early, okay, as opposed to getting out too soon. But it's the same thing, just a different way of saying it.
Right.
But just so we have continuity of it. But essentially what I do is when I get into a trade, until I make my core, I'm looking to go and make 2 pips. And the reason why I do that, and it's kind of funny, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, prior to doing this video, and that is that, when you look at the charts, there's so many places where it's obvious, okay, it's going to go in, well, not obvious, but it's apparent, it's probably a better word, that the market's going to move in a particular direction. But what is also apparent is that there's some type of resistance that will prevent it to move further than that for whatever reason. And so what happens is, what I've come to the conclusion is, if I get a signal trading flip-flop boxes with all the other things going in my direction, in other words, I'm not trading against the M30, I'm not trading against indicator 2, I've got everything in my favor. It just seems to me, and I have not done the statistics to prove this, but it just seems to me about 80%, 90% of the time, I can go and get 2 pips pretty easily. And then it may run against me or it may not. And so I just try to pick up those 2 pips until I get my core. And like I think you said in yesterday's video, well, that means that basically you got to go and win, 8 times or 9 times to go and get to your core. And that's about right. I got to win it 8 or 9 times to get to my core, because I like to get to about 16, 17 pips in order to make my core. And so that works out well. Well, what do you do after that? Or what do I do after that? Well, I continue to go and try to get 2 pips, over and over again until I build up what I just, consider to be a nice little, what I want to call it, a barrier, but that's not really a good word, but just a little bit of cash that's sitting in the account for the day.
A buffer?
Of what my core number is. Once I've done that, that's when I'll take the chance. And what I mean by take the chance is that I'll try to go and get more than the 2 pips. So, for instance, what I did was I went in, if you're looking at a 1-minute chart, my first entry was at, let's see, let me go and find it. It was at the breakout box at...
You mean flip-flop box.
Flip-flop box, I'm sorry. Flip-flop box, and the entry was at 35.3. And I was looking to get down to 25. That's where I wanted to get to. And, obviously it eventually did break it, but it got down, and then I took a secondary entry at the 35 level. Why? Just because it was moving in my direction. It looked like it was going to continue. So I took a second trade there. Well, what happened was it just wasn't getting down to the 25. And it just kept on going and pounding and pounding and pounding and just not getting there. And so what happened was I wound up taking, I think, an 8 pip and a 7 pip or something like that, between the 2 trades. I picked up, something like, I want to say 15 pips or close to that. Don't hold me to it, but something in that range. Well, my TP on both those trades were to 25. I had already made my core for the day. I already had a buffer above my core for the day. I had set my stop loss that the worst thing that was going to happen to me is those both trades, I was going to get out of break even and cover my commission costs. I had nothing to lose. But what I did was I got out too early, because where I got out at, let me go and pull it up on the chart. I got out at 28.1. Okay. And what did it do? It dropped all the way down to 23.2. I could have picked up 5 pips times 2 or an additional 10 pips. That's what I mean by closing too early. I had on my chart, I had already set it up. I set a TP up for what I wanted to do. And I didn't take the chance of letting it get down there. And the typical things that ran through my brain were, it's better to be mad with a profit than mad with a loss. Well, in this case it would have been mad with a break even. But the thing is, I had already made core. I had already made bonus money above core. This would have been, this is, in my opinion anyway, this is how I could go and probably make up some additional money on top of what I've already made. That would have been, just looking at it from a practical point of view, that would have been an additional 10 pips. That would have been half of tomorrow's. If I really want to be, looking at things, you're not supposed to do that. But if I was to do that, that's half of tomorrow's goal already made, and that's what I mean by getting out too early. I jumped out before, I had reasons why it was going to go down to 25 line. It's been very, very strong. It's tested it multiple times. Yeah, it hasn't broken it really, but it's gotten down there multiple times, over the last couple of hours. And it's been attracted to that line over and over and over again. So I had legitimate reasons why it should get down there and test it again. And I did not go and leave it alone. And again, that's closing too early. So that's what I mean by that. Hopefully that answers the question that that trader was asking.
Yeah, but how much hindsight are you doing?
Well,
Because
right.
like you said, it went down to, what was it, 20? It was what?
24.
But no, it went down right when we were talking before we were making the video.
Yeah.
And give a shout out to Seeker. He was on the line right before the video too, because we were saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be? Or I was saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be profitable? He said he liked that one.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So that's part of the argument there. It's sort of, and you got to make the judgment call, and it's the type of thing where that's why I play that game of having a core of what I want to make, because by playing that game that way, what that does is it gives me the ability to go and say, I'm going to let this go to where I think it's going to go to, because I've got nothing to lose. I've already made the money I need to make for the day. I've already fulfilled what I need to do for that day. And if I'm right, and it does go where I think it's going to go, I can put a boatload of additional pips into the bank account. And so that's the judgment call that every trader's got to make. Do you want to be right or do you want to be profitable? Well, I was already profitable, so I have to, in my mind, I got to make that mind shift to saying, hey, I'm already profitable. There's no way I'm not going to be profitable. So why not go and take on the additional risk of losing something that I don't have? So what am I losing if I let it go? And let's say instead of getting down to 25, which is where I had the TP, let's say it ran all the way back up to my entry points. Okay, what did I lose? I didn't lose anything. And so it's sort of, the risk reward people are always saying, you're 1 for 2, you're 1 for 3, or whatever. But the thing is, I had a zero risk. And because I had a zero risk, to me anyway, that's getting out too early, because that it's sort of like, the head game started to play. Okay, I can go and put a bunch of pips in the bank right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I could have put a whole lot more.
Yeah, and let's see, we just turned the M30 candle green at 26.5 here.
Yep, I see that.
And we got 2.9 pips to go or now 3 pips to get H4 to go green.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, we also have news in about 10 minutes. Yeah. It's orange news, but it's new home sales. So that recently has been a number that's moved the market. So we may go in, the market may be in its little malaise here. You know, again, giving a shout out to Seeker. You know, he pointed out that, you know, we've been stuck in this range from 25 up to about 40 for a while here, and maybe this is the shock that the market needs to get out of that area and move into a new area where we can potentially make some more money.
Right. I'm flipping through the charts right now just to see if I see anything. Okay, we've got a missed H4 pivot at 21.48, and then another one at 22.21, and another one at 22.64. So probably maybe tomorrow it'll go and try and take out a couple of those missed pivots. And we do have a pivot down here that's missed. Let me just double check something. At 1.2088. So there's another possible, if price were to continue to the south, that's something to shoot for.
Right.
On the daily, we've got our daily pivot at 122.00. We haven't hit that yet. And let's see. Let me just check something here. Bambino flex indicator indicates a short. Near the pivot's a short. Near R1 is a short. Near S1 is a long. S1's down at 22.11, which we almost touched, and it definitely bounced off of that area. And for the week, let's see. For the week, we've taken out the pivot, but for the month, we still missed that one by 4 pips. Green rats need to be on the ready. We went through the daily and weekly open. Looks like today's open was close to the daily open. Yes. I only have a 62 pip range with 5 pairs over 100. What was that news coming out, Walmal?
New home sales. U.S. new home sales.
Probably not going to move the market. Notice we are in the inside bar, daily inside bar that happened 3 days ago. And somebody was asking me what time frame to trade the inside bars. You can trade them on just about any time frame. It's just there's just a couple of horizontal lines, and you take the candle cross. It's nothing that esoteric or different. I had a question about sucker bars, but we're just about out of time, so maybe we'll get to sucker bars tomorrow. So, fellow traders, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching these videos. And I just want you always to remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.